Not a bad brew. This guy makes me coffee. I like him.
G'day Alex.
G'day mate.
Hi everybody.
Everybody, welcome to the table, Andrew Marr. We've been out last night, we've got another night to go. And Andrew does photography on YouTube. Andrew Marr Photography.
Andrew Marr Photography.
All about landscapes, hey?
All about landscapes, getting out to the outdoors, just enjoying it. Yeah.
Beautiful. So, keep an eye out for that video. This morning, I've decided we're going to talk about his camping setup. This is a new thing that I want to try on the channel. It's all about the camping. So, on the vehicle, things that make your camping life better and easier, the way you set up your storage, what you sleep in, what you cook on.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's not anything about four-wheel drive related mods, it's all about the camping.
Excellent.
So, we'll start by asking, how'd you sleep last night?
I slept well, nice and quiet here at Conto's. Love camping here, and yep, I've just got a simple swag which we'll go over to. Had a great night's sleep last night.
All right, let's go get in the swag with Andrew Marr. The Black Wolf Rybuck.
Yes, this has been my swag for probably 5 years.
Oh wow,
4 or 5 years, something like that.
got a good innings out of that.
Absolutely, and it still looks brand new.
Yeah, I was actually just going to mention that. It looks like it's maybe 6 months old.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Yeah, I've seen a certain somebody owns or did own one of these for about a year, and it looks so ratty.
Yeah, he probably uses it a little bit more than me though.
yeah, you're probably right. Every weekend or so,
Yeah.
covered in mud. But that did admirably, that thing.
Yeah, no, it's really comfy.
So you like your Rybuck?
I do. It's technically it's a swag, but it's a bit more like a tent, I suppose.
Yeah.
I love the fact that it's self-standing.
Yeah.
So I don't need to necessarily peg it in. It's quite a comfortable mattress. I have the standard mattress. I haven't added a new mattress in there.
Yep.
But the best thing about it is the fact that the poles pull it up so high that I can actually sit up in it and put a jumper on and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I liked about that too. You get so much height and freestanding out of only 2 poles. It's a very unique design.
Yeah, and it's really, really quick. So you take the 2 poles out, roll it up, and you're done. So set up and pack away is really, really quick. And being a landscape photographer, that's what I'm aiming at with any of my camping gear is the speed of packing up and getting on the road for those sunrises.
Yeah, very important. Have you snapped any poles on it ever?
I haven't, no.
Nice. It's good.
No, they're actually quite thick poles. I've had a couple of tents that have similar sort of design and they're a little bit thinner, but these poles are quite thick, quite sturdy.
Good on you. What about so your sleeping bags and that sort of stuff? Anything special? You're using like just Kmart special sleeping bags? Or?
So my sleeping bag is a mountain design that I've had for 10 years.
Yep.
Took it originally on a hike in Tasmania, and it's really small, really light, and I've always used it.
Perfect.
At any type of camping. And I grab my pillow from home, always have.
Yeah.
I've tried different pillows, different camping pillows, and they're just not quite the same. So when I go hiking, I have a smaller pillow.
Yep.
But when I'm camping like this, I grab the pillow from home.
Take that little bit of luxury.
Absolutely. Good night's sleep makes the rest of the camping experience so much better.
Yeah, I find a lot relies on the pillow for a good sleep. So we're back at the long table for more discussion, which begins with, how did you get into camping?
Well, I think as most people, I've been camping for most of my life. My parents took me out camping. We had a camper trailer when I was really, really young, and then eventually a caravan.
Yeah.
And then when I was a teenager, I'd go out camping with my brother and friends, and then that just progressed. Now I've got a family. I did have my own camper trailer.
Yep.
But then my son and I would go out camping a little bit more rough than just the camper trailer.
Yep.
We've just sold our camper trailer and now I've upgraded to this new setup.
Yep.
I do hiking. I've done hikes in Western Australia and Tasmania.
Yep.
So yeah, all different types of camping.
I reckon it seems to be a bit of the Aussie way. Like most of us have been brought up camping, doing it in some way.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's really, really important for kids to be able to get out there, particularly nowadays,
Yeah.
to get to the outdoors. And if you have been brought up camping, it's always a great memory. And so when you have kids yourself, you want to...
Yeah, just keeps going round and round.
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
really, really good.
So you're a landscape photographer.
Yes.
And photography obviously forms a big part of what you do while you go camping.
Yep.
How long has the photography actually been a part of your camping experience?
Ooh, yeah, good question. Probably for the last 10 years, I've integrated it into my camping.
Yep.
But with this new setup, it's probably the first time where I've actually been really focused on the photography, and all the decisions that I've made are around the creating the best opportunities for my landscape photography.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So in these types of videos, I want to try and look at what different camping hobbies people have: fishing, kayaking, photography, and how the vehicle is set up to help you better enjoy that. So let's go over and have a look at this brand new Canopy on your Ranger and see how it works for your photography expeditions. Now, I did say we're not going to go into vehicle, but I think we should mention what it is. So what year is it? And a few little details about your car.
It's a Ford Ranger PX2 2015.
Yep, dual cab.
Dual cab, so it used to have a tub on the back.
Okay.
Pretty much stock, suspension, new tyres, that sort of stuff.
Okay, so a little bit of suspension for comfort, a little bit of a lift, I suppose, and some tyres that are going to be rugged enough to get you where you need to go.
Yep.
Cool. And the Canopy build, that's brand new, isn't it?
Yeah, that is brand new. So the Canopy was built over in Queensland by Norwell,
Yep.
Australia, and shipped across and installed by Quick Pitch.
Okay.
And the design of it, they've got a couple of packages, and one of the packages I could see that really suited me, and it's this one here with the two drawers on this side, and then one drawer and the fridge slide on the other.
All right. So a lot of people tend to set out one side as a kitchen, the other side for something else. How have you got yours sort of left to right laid out?
Yeah, so the non-driver side is my kitchen.
Yep.
So it's got the pantry and the fridge there. This side is where I have my all my camera gear, so video and landscape gear. All of the recharging happens on this side, and I've got this drawer here that stores all the electronics. My solar blanket is in that side as well.
All right, so this is the bit that makes your landscape photography adventures more doable.
Yep, far more easier. So I've got the storage on this top shelf, so I've got multiple bags. I bring with me probably 3 bodies. Some of it's to do with the video that I record, and others is to do with the actual landscape. So I've got bags, I've got drones, so I'm recharging all of those things, and I need to be able to grab different bags for different situations.
Yeah.
So I've got all those bags lined up across the top, and then I've got cords and adapters and all of that sort of stuff in that shelf. And then the inverter just above it, and that's where I'll recharge everything.
Red Arc 2000 watt pure sine wave, I can see.
Yes.
You've got a power board in there as well, because they only ever come with one little outlet on the front.
Yep, absolutely. And the power board that I use has the USB outlets as well, because nowadays there's so many things that are charged through USB. So it gives me USB and also 4 240 volt outlets.
Everything you should possibly need.
Yeah.
So we talked about what's in that drawer. What about this one? This is mysterious. It hasn't been mentioned yet.
So this drawer here is where I've got more of the dirty stuff to do with camping. So my pans, anything that gets dirty, anything to do with the fire. I've got a couple of like a little tripod and stuff like that I can cook on.
The dirty gear drawer.
The dirty gear drawer, axe, hammers, and then I've got a bag of bits and pieces that like tapes, gaffer tape, wire.
Things that might need to be making quick repairs.
Yep, absolutely. So it's almost like my shed. So that's my shed, whereas that's the electronics.
Oh, like you should get something made up that just says the shed.
The shed.
Across there.
I should do that.
That'd be really cool. You have the shed. I don't know what you'd put on that one. The shed The office?
the study.
Yeah, the shed, the study.
The studio.
The studio. That'd be cool. What's down in this little one here?
So this is a toolbox, and I suppose I was saying that this is where the dirty gear is stored, but that's camp gear and the shed.
Yeah.
Anything that's dirty, like if I have muddy boots, I'll stick them in this drawer here. Sometimes I'll put wood to burn. Anything that gets
really
messy.
dirty.
Yeah,
it's like different levels of filth storage we've
absolutely.
got going
So the beauty about that is that I can store it in there, and it's not even in the canopy.
Yeah.
The reason, by the way, why I went with the canopy is to be able to store all of this gear in a dust-proof and waterproof way. I looked at different options. There is the option of putting a canopy on top of the existing tub, but I just wasn't comfortable enough with how much dust was getting in there, so
My
I
experience
tried that.
seeing those things, working at ARB for a few years, they never seal. Ever.
No.
Completely.
And look, while this is not 100%, it doesn't seal 100%. It's got rubber sealing all the way around. It's got a gutter. It means that I can open it up, and I have done, and the water just pours off it nicely.
Let's go and see what's in the other side. Have a look at the kitchen and pantry.
You don't mind if we come back here and talk about the water, or do you want to talk about the water here? Or?
Let's not do that. Let's talk about the water.
So there's a 43 litre tank that's up underneath the canopy.
Oh yeah, I see it there.
And so it's on the driver's side where I've got the inlet and I've got the outlet down the bottom there.
Yep.
It's all gravity fed.
Okay, no pump in there.
No pump, but it's an option later on.
Yeah. Broken. No, it's good. Hey, gravity fed does the job, doesn't it?
Does, yep.
Yeah.
I haven't had a problem with it.
So that's your water. We'll talk about power when we go around the other side, because I think you can see it a little bit better from that side.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, off to the kitchen, favourite place. Tell us a bit about this. How do you use this area? This is neat.
Yeah, so this is quite a good design that I think Norweld have come up with recently in their later packages. So the bench here obviously slides up underneath the drawer that comes out. This is the pantry drawer here, and what that means is I can open the drawer without compromising the space that I have with the bench. So it's a good little design there.
That's neat, isn't it?
Yeah, quite sturdy as well.
So in here we've got all of your food items, your spice rack.
Yes.
Yeah. And all your cutlery and your cleaner cooking gear, I suppose.
Yeah.
Things like your filthy camp oven would go in your filthy gear drawer on the other side.
Absolutely. And look, to be honest, I'm still working through how to best organise this. I've got a combination of, zip bags and containers and stuff like that. And trying to work out the most useful stuff at the front and the less used stuff at the back.
Yeah.
Also got my first aid. I've got a couple of first aid bags on me. I don't have just the one.
You keep them spotted around the vehicle?
I do, and I have smaller ones because I'll also take one with me when I go on a hike or when I go shooting. I'll have a first aid with me with my camera gear.
Smart man. Safety first.
Yep.
What do you usually put above the pantry here?
I've had a combination of things, and I must admit I'm just not 100% sure. It's a bit of a changing space. I have put a bag of wood here, as you can see, it's been pushed to the further to the back. I imagine on longer trips, say if I'm out for a week or so, this area would be for other food items as well.
Carry a bit more food.
Yep. I did have a chair there for a while, and then I've moved the chair up to this top shelf that just goes along the length of the canopy.
Where does your swag live then?
So my swag lives on the other side, and if I had that filled up again for a longer trip, I'd probably strap that to the top. It's got a rooftop tip.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't. It's got a
Roof rack. Yep. So we'll head around to the back of this canopy in a moment and have a look at the access, because that looks pretty neat, the roof access.
Yep.
But before we go there, the chili box.
Yeah, so it's on a, this is an old angle fridge. I would say it'd be somewhere between 35 and maybe even 40 years old. It's been in the family for a while. It was originally my wife's parents. They had a boat and they
Had that on the boat?
Had that on the boat, so it's fairly rusty,
Yeah.
and sometimes it can be loud, but it's still going.
Yeah.
And it
Party
still keeps
beasts.
everything cool. So that's on a Clearview fridge slide that comes out and drops down, which is really good for shorter people like my wife, who needs the fridge a little bit lower down,
so she can work with it.
Absolutely.
There's so many of these old Engels still kicking around. I've got the same model in the back of my car.
And it amazes me how similar they look. Like, you could give me yours and it looks exactly like I'd mistake it for mine.
It makes all the similar grunting and groaning noises.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's another toolbox down there. What's in that one?
Again, just messy stuff.
Very dirty, messy stuff.
Yep, absolutely. So I think on one side I might have dirty shoes and maybe a hose, and on the other side I might have some wood. Stuff like that at the moment, yeah.
So, mate, every campsite needs power these days. It's not an option to just whack up a gas lantern and have an esky full of ice.
No.
So 12-volt power setups are going to be a big part of these videos. So tell us about yours.
Yeah, so it's important because in the past when I haven't had a power solution, I've been able to go out for a couple of days and then all the batteries are dead and I can't take any photos and I can't take any video. So part of this Canopy setup was to make sure that I had a decent power management system. So I went with the Red Arc. That's the BMS 30, Manager 30.
Yep.
And that basically just handles everything for me. Right at the back I've got 2 lithium batteries that are behind that other drawer, or behind this fridge.
Yep.
And all of those, both those batteries are managed by that BMS.
Alright, lithium batteries are they?
Yep, from Revolution Power Australia.
How many amp hours are they each?
So 100 each.
Ooh,
yeah. So I've got plenty of power.
And if you're not too well informed about lithium batteries, you can discharge them down to 20% safely.
You can.
So if you're talking an AGM battery, you can go down to about 50%. So if you've got a 100 amp hour AGM, you've got about 50 amp hours to play with. Whereas you've got 100 amp hours of that, you've got 80 amp hours to play with.
Yeah. So that's certainly one of the advantages. The other advantage is that they're very, very efficient when they recharge.
Yep.
So again, being out and about, and it's a little bit unpredictable where I am going to be and how long I'm going to be out shooting for.
Yep.
So to have batteries that I could just do a little drive and they'll recharge in that drive because they're set up through the BMS to charge off the DC from the car.
Yep.
Alternatively, I can hook up the solar blanket.
Yep.
And the little attachment, the adapter is just on the outside of the canopy there.
Yep. So you carry a solar blanket with you?
I do bring a solar blanket with me and an extension, which means that I can set up in the shade here and I can put the blanket out in the sun.
All the way out there in the sun.
Yep.
Yeah. And these, I know the Manager 30 system has the smart charging algorithms and stuff in it, so it can boost your solar output a lot more than a cheaper system would.
Yeah, and it also works out that it'll take the greenest way of recharging your batteries as well.
Go.
So if you've got solar hooked up and you're driving, it'll take it off the solar first.
Yeah,
which is quite neat.
There you go. Clear your conscience.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the other added advantage is just the weight. You know, together that's around about 24 kilo. They're about 12 and a half kilo each, which is all important when you're trying to set these things up, is to stay light. 2
of those is probably lighter than an AGM or any other type of battery too.
Yep. Yeah.
So how else do you use the power? You use it for the inverter, you use it for the fridge, you power camping lights or anything with it?
Yes, I've got some lights that are hooked onto the back, which are my reverse lights, or they come on when I reverse. But I've also got a switch up here that bring them on when I'm camping.
Yep.
They're quite strong. They'll project a light out a fair amount. We were having a look at it last night. They are
reverse
pretty
spotlights.
strong. Yeah, pretty much. They're fantastic when I'm reversing in bushlands and stuff like that, to try and make sure that I'm not
Yeah.
bumping into anything.
Yeah.
And very handy when I'm initially setting up.
Mm.
I might put them on, I'll set up my campsite, I
Yeah.
might take them off and use a softer light after
Yeah, a
that.
bit too harsh for sitting around and enjoying camp with, but
Yeah.
all the light you'd ever need to find a spot for your swag and
Yeah.
set up your cooking gear and whatnot.
Yeah.
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 I think that about covers us for power, really.
I think so.
So we're going to have a quick look at the back. And this looks pretty neat, mate.
Yeah, it's quite handy just to have the ladder just welded onto the back there.
Yeah.
Quick access to the roof. Just drops down and then just clicks into place down the bottom. Simple.
All right.
So what I have put up there in the past is a swag. Also, if I'm collecting firewood,
Yeah.
it's a really easy spot to just get
Yeah.
up there and put all that stuff up there and just strap it down.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. And of course, if I'm collecting wood, having a ladder like that is just quick and easy, so I
Yeah.
can just go along and collect wood at different spots.
Saves you breaking things.
Yeah,
Specifically yourself.
yeah, exactly. Nice and safe.
What's this drawer down here do?
Yeah, so there's a drawer underneath that goes pretty much the length of the canopy, and that's where I have a lot of my recovery gear and tools for repairs and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So shed number 3.
Yeah, probably shed number 3. But it's quite convenient to have all that stuff just tucked away.
Yeah.
So I don't have my Max Tracks strapped to the top. It's just in the drawer.
Saves them getting pinched.
Shovels
too.
in the drawer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice and simple.
I noticed there's no awning. Don't have need for an awning?
Wouldn't say I wouldn't have a need for it, but just still debating what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
I've been out in some fairly atrocious weather already, and I just know already that the convenience of an awning to be able to put it up. I've got the gull wings here that are quite nice, so you can
Yeah.
get
Give it a
underneath
little
them and
bit
get
to-
away from the weather, but they're not all that big, and if you are
Yeah.
going to move around, a nice big awning would be good.
What sort of awning are you thinking? Any ideas yet?
Yeah, look, honestly, I'm thinking in between a 180 and a 270.
Yep.
I know that 270 would then, as it comes out, it would block access at the back there, but I typically don't need access when I'm camping, when I've got the wing out.
Yeah.
But I am also thinking upgrading my sleeping arrangements, even though the swag is nice and simple, putting a rooftop tent on there eventually as well.
Okay.
So if that was the case, if I was to go for one that swung out 270, I'd need to have access on the driver's side,
Yeah.
which then means that I can't necessarily have that
Yeah.
gull wing up, but I have the ladder up only when I'm going to bed.
Yeah. So many different things to be considered.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
I'm debating and working out what's the best way of going there.
Might be worth revisiting in the future and
Mm.
seeing what happens there.
When I eventually get there, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to talk about cooking and fires and a few other fun little topics, but we'll do that later on, where we can have a couple of drinks and chill out a bit
Yeah,
and get some food on the go.
yeah, exactly.
We're going to go out now and scout some places for some photography, capture some evening landscapes, and we'll see you back here at camp later on.
Should be good.
How's this for a romantic giant candle
Exactly.
in the middle of the
exactly.
table?
Hello.
Nothing sus going on here. We were going to talk about food and stuff while we were cooking, but everything just got ready all at once.
Got cooked quick.
Yeah, nothing too flash tonight, bit of a hob together of food. What's your favourite thing to cook in the bush?
Do you mean fire or fire pit, or?
Yeah, let's start there.
Yep.
As we cooked up on the fire pit on top of a table. It's a bit unusual, but it worked okay.
Mm.
How do you normally like to go?
I-
Gas stove or?
I like wood fire.
Yeah.
Definitely like a wood fire. I just like the smell of a wood fire.
Yeah.
And there's something, I don't know, organic or natural about having it on the ground. You can get a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
I like that, and if you're cooking multiple things, it's a little bit easier. Must admit, multiple things on this. We were,
Juggling this around.
yeah,
trying to get
just grappling for a bit of space.
trying to get the billy cans to fit and everything.
Yeah,
It's good you can hang them on a tripod actually over the fire as well.
yeah, that's right.
Keep it up off you. Have your stuff hanging up just off the top of the fire to keep it warm.
Keep it warm.
While you cook your other stuff down the bottom.
Yep. There's your thumbnail.
Blasted.
There's your thumbnail.
So you're a fireman. Do you carry a gas cooker?
I have a little Bunsen burner.
Yeah.
And
Like a little hiking stove, hey? Like
little
you were
hiking
doing
stove.
your coffee
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. So I'll cook on that.
Yeah.
And look, probably when the summer comes and the fire bans, it can be a little bit tough.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you manage to do everything that you cook when you're out camping just on that little single burner.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. And,
Yep.
and the reason is I'm out for landscape photography, so
Yep.
my meals tend to be simple and quick.
Okay.
Yep.
So you go a one-pot meal generally. Just
Yep.
stir it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It makes sense.
Mm.
So this is almost luxury to you
This is, there's
compared to the normal.
2 types of meat, there's
wow.
rice, there's this
Selection.
stuff.
You'd almost call it a tasting platter. So what's your favourite thing you've ever cooked up in the bush?
I love steak.
Yep.
So different marinades of steak
Mm-hmm.
I'm really into,
Straight over the flame?
straight over the flame.
Yeah.
And then I will have that in various different ways. So I
Yeah.
might have it in a sandwich, or I'll chop it up into a salad, or like we did last night
Yeah.
with the chicken. No, that was steak.
That was delicious.
Put it up in a wrap.
Whoa.
Whoa!
That was nearly the end of everything.
Was that
Shit everywhere.
was that a studio light?
On that note, let's eat our dinner.
Yeah,
Get
let's.
this fire pit back on the ground.
Where it's safe.
Yeah, and we'll continue the discussion there. If you could only drink one beer, alcoholic beverage of choice for the rest of your life, what would you drink?
Jeez. It would probably be a alcoholic ginger beer.
Oh, nice. Like a Matzo's or something.
Yep.
And you could do that for the rest of days?
Yeah. Probably.
Not bad. I don't know what mine is. Maybe at some point I'll come up with something and decide what my forever drink would be.
Well, you're doing all right with the rum, aren't you?
Yeah. I quite like my spice rum. Don't give me none of that Bundy crap. It's rubbish. Sorry, Queenslanders, I know you love it. But it reminds me too much of that one time I puked in the bushes. But enough about me. Let's say, what is your favourite local campsite? Somewhere within a couple of hours of Perth. You don't have to name it if it's too special and you don't want the whole internet to know.
Mm-hmm.
They might just hate you and be jealous, but that's okay. You can't be liked by everyone.
Or it depends on what time of year. It depends on why I'm going to go camping there.
Yep.
So say if my drive is landscape photography,
Yep.
going up into the Karajini Gorges and camping there. Yeah, there's some there's 2 really good camping spots. The retreat there, and also at
The Eco Lodge.
the Eco Lodge.
Yeah, it's a nice little place.
It is. It's and it's just convenient. And then there's the campsite at Dales, which is really good.
Yep.
But the Eco Lodge has showers, so
Yeah, it's a bit flash, isn't it?
it is a bit flash.
Yeah. What time of year would you go up there then? I guess just after the wet.
Yeah, so I would probably aim to go up there for April.
Yep.
April's usually a pretty good time. Going into May, it can get a bit cold in June, July, and a lot of tourists. So
Yeah.
you've got to cope with a lot more people. But earlier on in the season, April, May, don't go at April, May, because that's when I'm going to be going there. So
Go away. Leave
Yes.
your secret spot alone.
exactly. But yeah, but then there's all these spots down in the southern coast. which is another area that I just love exploring, even if I'm not taking photos.
Yeah.
It's just such an interesting coast.
Yeah,
We're so
so
lucky.
further south of here, like, got Busselton, Augusta, and then east along that little stretch there.
Yeah, so anywhere between Walpole and, Denmark, Albany, Esperance, you can just keep on going. And it's just, and there's so many...
There's a lifetime of exploring there.
Just there.
Yeah. Magic spots. What about, is there a time when you've been four-wheel driving or camping, when things got challenging, the car got stuck, the car broke, you got mad rain, rained in, anything like that?
Four-wheel driving?
Four-wheel driving or around the campsite, anything like that? Anywhere you camped?
Oh, look, a challenge that we had, the biggest challenge that we had nothing to do with four-wheel driving, but we were up in Carrageen. It was the first time that I was camping there, and I had gone out with a group of other teachers, and we had gone for the long weekend, which was around June, I think the beginning of June.
Yep.
And one of the other people that we were with, slipped and dislocated her shoulder.
Yep.
And we were just in strife, and it was bush mechanics
on a human. Was this down one of the gorges?
This was down one of the gorges, handrail pool we were.
Oh yeah, that's a rough one.
She had forgotten to grab the... Well, in actual fact, it was the opposite of that handrail pool section.
Yep.
So looking back at the handrail,
the bit where you have to climb down and hold the handrail.
And she slipped as she was moving towards the handrail. She slipped backwards and landed on her left and just popped out. So we had to carry her. There was three of us, and we had to carry her out of that gorge back to the campsite. And lo and behold, there was a German tourist who was a doctor, and he showed us how to put a shoulder back. We were on a kitchen bench or a picnic bench like this. Yeah. And basically got her to lie down on her stomach.
Yeah.
If you want to try this at home, don't tell me about it, but you feel free to. And so she had the dislocated arm loose and down, hanging over the edge of the table. Yeah. And holding a can of baked beans. So just that weight was the perfect amount of weight for it to be in a position where he could then manipulate it, and then rolled her back in, and as she rolled her back over onto her back, it just slipped straight into spot.
That's an art.
And that's how you do it.
It's that sort of reminds me of when you get those photography reflectors, the ones that roll up into a little flat thing.
Yes.
No one can ever get. But once you get that technique.
Yep.
Yeah.
Look, the doctor really knew what he was doing, and he calmed us down. But we panicked because we thought, we're remote and we need to get her to a doctor.
Yeah. And then after that, I suppose you had to sort of get out of there in a reasonable...
Yeah, well, he was actually headed to Karratha, or Headland, sorry. So he and his wife were headed to Headland. Yeah. And so offered to take her to the hospital at Headland. And we spent the extra day there, and then we went back to Karratha.
Yeah, that's a good story. You've really kicked it off good here.
But bush mechanics.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's it. If something breaks and you've just got to fix it.
Yeah.
With all my mates, everyone seems to carry this one little camp luxury. Torben has a 240-volt coffee capsule machine. Ronnie has a soda stream machine. Harry has leaf blowers, farm spec chainsaws.
Chainsaws, yes.
Over-the-top camp luxury. Yeah, what's yours?
Well, I could go down the road of I love coffee, and so I've got several different ways in which I could make coffee, and I've got a couple of different bags of coffee, but
different flavour.
Torbs has got that with his coffee machine because I haven't got a coffee machine.
So,
whoa, yep, this is my luxury item.
Nice. Little side table for your drink.
Yep, perfect there.
Yep.
Look, I basically like to be comfortable in and around the campfire, and when it's just me, it's just one chair.
Kick back and relax.
Yeah,
it's got
exactly.
An insulated cushion back and bottom.
Oh yeah, it goes back. It does different things, but it's comfortable.
Go on, show us how far back you can lay. Yeah. You could pass out by fire in that.
Have done.
Why do you have a swag?
Several times.
Just in the sleeping bag and just a banana out like that.
Nah, it's really comfy. Love it.
Nice. Oh, I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone unravels for camp luxuries. It's going to be fun.
And then have one set up with all the luxuries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A luxury camp compilation video. All right, and back to normal. Well, I think that concludes the first episode of Camp Setup.
Yep.
We're just calling it that for now. I want you guys to come in the comments and suggest a name for this. Can't use modified. Ronnie will be angry. Can't use rig rundowns. Taken. And none of that's applicable anyway, so get creative. It's all about camp setups. See if we can come up with a name for it. How do you feel being the first one?
Oh, look, it's an honour to be the first camping series.
Camp Setup King.
Camp Setup. And it's been a lot of fun, I must admit. It's good just going through the different aspects of a camping setup, and I'm really looking forward to listening to or watching what other people have in their setup. I think it'll be a really interesting series.
Yeah, me too. I like finding out new and different ways to camp.
Yep, and just little tips that you might pick up on how different people do things.
Yeah. So one last thing I'm going to try and do is I'm going to pick out from everyone's setup one thing that I would like to, maybe not necessarily actually take on board, but one thing I'd like to take on board. And from yours, it is actually, as you suggested, those reverse lights. I really need to sort out some better reverse lights and camp lights.
Yeah, they're quite handy. The fact that they're reverse lights and camp lights, they're quite neat, but they're really handy when you turn up to camp for the first time. Chuck them on, your site is lit. You can set yourself up there nice and easily, and then we turn them off and have the softer light, or the studio lights.
Yeah, just full studio lights where you can't see anything past there.
No.
Yeah. So let us know what you thought down in the comments, what you liked about Andrew's setup, what you've seen done your own different ways, etc. And of course, pitch in any ideas, things you'd like to know about everyone's camping setups. I've made a big sort of checklist of things I want to try and cover.
Yep.
But if you can think of any points that we haven't covered.
You want to know what they think. What do they want to find out? Yeah,
what sort of things you're really interested in knowing. Get down in the comments, let us know. Tell me if this is a shit idea too. And if you've enjoyed this video, give it the good old thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs down button is fine, as long as you click it twice. Subscribe to this channel and go and check out Andrew's photography channel as well. Links in description. See you next time.
Bye.